Owls. You probably don't know much about them, only that they have feathers and stay up at night. Oh, and that they can rotate their heads 360 degrees, which happens to be a myth that I'll explain later. Owls, believe it or not, are every rodent's greatest fear. Seriously though, they have absurdly high levels of owlophobia. If I'm a mouse out in the woods at night and I hear a hoo, I'm screaming and scampering for my life, SOS, because I know what's coming for me. As you probably guessed by now, owls are deadly hunters. They eat about 5 mice a day and have an 85% kill rate. Pretty good. After all, it's more than Jason African lions. Theirs is only 25%. Now let's take a look at the things which turn owls into the ultimate small game hunters. Owls are masters of camouflage. Stealth is not an issue. They have a few ways of keeping out of sight. First off, they don't move much. Useless fidgeting would attract unwanted attention to their location, and that would destroy the element of surprise when chasing prey. Secondly, the color of their feathers usually resembles tree bark, which helps in blending in. Oh, and those ears you see? They aren't ears, just tufts. They're meant to look like twigs when the owl is perched on a tree. And lastly, they ruffle their feathers, not because they're angry, but to break up their outline and make themselves harder to see. As Sun Tzu says in The Art of War, be extremely subtle, even to the point of formlessness. Even though their prey can't see them, they can definitely see the prey. The funny thing is, they don't actually have eyeballs. Accurately speaking, these things are eye tubes. So anyway, they have absurdly good vision. Let's suppose you can read the tiny handwriting of your local newspaper at 2 feet. Well, theoretically speaking, an owl should be able to read it from 20 feet, assuming of course owls can read. This ability is useful of course when scanning the ground for dinner, also known as a tasty rat. Eyes have 2 types of light-sensitive cells, rods and cones. Cones help in color vision, but owls have few of these. Rods buff night vision, and owl eyes are packed with these, so they can see much better than us in dim light, but they aren't that great at distinguishing colors. Ever notice that your pupils dilate in darkness? Owls have massive pupils, which let in more light at night. Hammerheads also have great vision. See my last video, it ain't bad. In your innocent childhood, you were probably told that owls can rotate their head 360 degrees. Lies. It's a pro-owl conspiracy. The real number isn't even close, it's 270 degrees. To visualize that, think about how you look left. You rotate your head 90 degrees anti-clockwise. But what if you rotate it 270 degrees clockwise? It's the same thing. Of course, the really cool thing is that they can look back completely without moving their torso. Unfortunately, we can't do that because we have half the number of neck bones. But owls have a debuff, which we don't have. They can't move their eyes. Imagine that, your eyes stuck in position. You see, owl eyes are locked in place by bony plates which make up the sclerotic ring, which is why they have all the fancy neck movements. There's more to hunting than sight though. Audio reception, for instance. Owls can hear a guinea pig walking along a bed of moss in tennis shoes. Sneakers, that is. But just like the eyeballs, owls don't really have ears. Sorry, I mean you can't see them. They're actually slits which open into large ear canals. These slits are surrounded by feather rings known as facial discs. Now the discs funnel sound waves into the slits. It's like having headphones on permanently, but the input is the environment, if that makes any sense. Another interesting thing is the fact that one ear is higher than the other. This helps the owl in judging whether the sound came from above or below it. So when a mouse moves, scattering leaves and whatnot, the sound reaches one ear before the other. The owl moves its head until the sound reaches both ears at the same time. Now it has pinpointed the mouse's location. If you want a better example of how well owls can hear, if you stood on top of Mount Everest and sneezed, an owl at the base would hear you easily. Owls are pretty impressive flyers. You know why? They hardly flap. Flapping, as I've come to realize over the years, is for amateurs. Pigeons. Flappy Bird. It's just pathetic. Anyway, owls glide like ghosts, float like phantoms, and hover like harpy eagles. That doesn't make sense. But watch the video, it's good, trust me. Having relatively light bodies and large wings means some owls can go as fast as 65 kilometers per hour. That's 20 kilometers per hour faster than Usain Bolt on speed. You know what's even better? They make no noise. The pin drop silence every teacher craves. How do they do it? Well, you see, their forward feathers have a stiff fringe and their rear feathers have a soft fringe. Now that doesn't make any sense, but basically These fringes break down sound waves caused by air turbulence, eliminating any audible noise. So when an owl goes in for the kill, the prey barely even sees or hears it before BAM! Rest in peace. It's just like Sun Tzu said, let your plans be dark and impenetrable as night, and when you move, fall like a thunderbolt. I hope you enjoyed this lengthy documentary on the owl's hunting adaptations. You better have enjoyed it. Anyway, if you're free, watch some of my other videos, say something complimentary in the comment section, subscribe. Ave.